Hello, welcome, and thanks for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Romancing. The Senate Committee on Energy and Environmental Protection met Monday to hear testimony on a number of issues affecting the environment. The first of that discussion was the territory's landfills. News 2's Erica Parsons has that story.
At the top of Monday's agenda were the status of the consent decrees imposed on both the Anguilla and Bavoni landfills. Waste management officials testified before senators Monday about the lawsuit filed by the federal government in 2010 because of both the landfills' noncompliance with two environmental laws, the Clean Air Act and the Resource Conservation and Recovery Act. Officials told senators under both settlement decrees the VI government has to pay fines of $50,000 each over a 4-year period. Officials say the almost 50-page consent decrees require deadlines for closure of the landfills and post-closure plans to become compliant. Executive Director May Adams Cornwall says she sees the deadlines as achievable, although they've had to ask for some extensions due to a lack of funding. Director Cornwall testified that the cost to close both landfills is more than $20 million each, and the post-closure care cost combined is a little more than $5 million. While the Anguilla landfill is closed to the public and the waste is being diverted to the new St. Croix transfer station, both landfills are expected to reach full capacity by the end of this year. Ideally, officials hope to rely on several options to deal with waste: a waste-to-energy facility, a recycle and bury operation, and a bypass waste landfill. This all will hopefully happen if the central government and Senate both approve budget appropriations and bond proceed allocations to address the consent decree projects. At least that's what Waste Management hopes. For now, they're still waiting for the land they were promised under Act 6638 to build these new facilities. Erica Parsons, News 2.
Waste management officials also answered questions for senators about the Susanna Berg transfer station on St. John. Well, there is a new chief executive officer at the Schneider Regional Medical Center on St. Thomas. The formal announcement was made by the governing board of the hospital on Monday. Members welcomed and introduced Dr. Bernard Wheatley as the new leader of the hospital. Well, the medical center, Wheatley began his 3-term today, although he took part in this weekend's spring cleanup at the hospital. Wheatley is a native Virgin Islander who holds both a master's and doctorate in business administration. He has an extensive background in healthcare. News 2 will have more on Wheatley's goals and plans for the hospital in Tuesday's newscast. Be sure to stay tuned for that. Police on St. Croix have arrested 2 inmates who are currently incarcerated at the Golden Grove Adult Correctional Facility. They were charged with first-degree assault in the non-fatal stabbing of another inmate. The victim appeared to be stabbed several times in his torso and arms. The stabbing took place Saturday morning. According to prison officials, Akeem Williams, age 23, and Hosea Williams, age 19, assaulted another male inmate at the water cooler inside the facility. Correction officials intervened and secured the suspects inside their cells while the injured inmate was taken to the Wheatley Hospital for treatment. Akeem Williams and Hosea Williams were charged with first-degree assault and placed on a $75,000 bail each. They were remanded back to the Golden Grove facility pending court appearances. Police on St. Croix are asking for the community's help. On Saturday evening, a 38-year-old man told police he was robbed at gunpoint at the Estate Concordia dump site, where 2 suspects demanded the keys to his 2009 gray Toyota truck. The suspects left the area in the vehicle and the victim was not harmed. The VIPD has issued an all-points bulletin for the 2009 gray Toyota Tacoma truck. If you've seen that vehicle, call 911 immediately or detectives at 712-6077. You can also call Crime Stoppers USVI at 1-800-222-TIPS. Well, a St. Croix woman has turned herself into police Sunday night. Shaniqua Rivera was wanted on assault first-degree charges for an April 4th shooting. According to police, Rivera was positively identified as the person who shot a 20-year-old man in the Mutual Homes apartment community while he was sitting in a car with Rivera's former girlfriend. St. Croix police have classified the case as a domestic violence 1, so Rivera was held without bail pending further court action. Well, a senior who was reported missing has been located. Family members had not seen Mr. Julian Vinson since Wednesday. During a local news broadcast, a concerned citizen called the radio station and publicly stated that a relative of hers had seen an individual fitting the description. Based on that call, Acting Commissioner Karad, along with a relative of Mr. Vinson, traveled to the area and conducted an inspection. It started to get dark and more tools and assistance were needed, according to police, so they returned the following morning. Mr. Vinson was found alive but severely dehydrated in thick brush a distance down from where he was last seen. St. Thomas rescue personnel were called to assist with stabilizing Mr. Vinson. Well, educational officials say they haven't approved any solicitation letters seen recently by students in the St. Thomas-St. John district. District Superintendent Jeanette Smith-Barry is warning the public that students asking for monies for fundraising efforts have not been sanctioned by the department of her office. The department has received numerous reports of such activities. Smith-Barry says those efforts could put students at serious risk if they are approaching strangers or collecting huge sums of money. She reminded all principals to make that policy clear to their students and staff. Well, there was a lot of salsa, bachata, and merengue going on Saturday. Latin night was held at the Esplanade in the Yacht Haven Grand next to Grand Cru. Many had the opportunity to meet and dance with Rodney Lopez, National Program Director for Dancing Classrooms and a big name in the New York City salsa scene. Mr. Lopez is well known for his appearance in the hit documentary Mad Hot Ballroom. He was in the territory as the MC of the Colors of the Rainbow Dancing Classrooms Virgin Islands team match competition that was held at the Reichel Center on Friday. Donations to Dancing Classrooms Virgin Islands. You can call Katie Zayton if you'd like to make some donations, the executive director, and to learn a little bit more about that program. Her number is 340-513-9361 with questions. Well, the top commander for the U.S. military in South Korea is staying put, canceling a planned trip to Washington as tensions on the Korean peninsula escalate. North Korea says it will suspend all work in a manufacturing zone it shares with South Korea. We get more from Daniel Nottingham in Washington.
Reporters swarm South Korean workers returning from the factory complex North Korea says it will shut down. This man says the few companies that remain open only have supplies to produce goods for another week. For a 6th day, South Koreans have been barred from entering the jointly run Kaesong Industrial Complex. And now North Korea says it will suspend all operations and pull out more than 53,000 North Korean workers. The move would hurt North Korea's already impoverished economy, and that concerns Stuart Holliday, former special ambassador to the UN.
It's an irrational step, and I think that's what worries the United States most. Is this is not a question of, sort of a predictable hostile opponent. It is an unpredictable hostile opponent.
The North Korean government is also warning foreign diplomats it can't guarantee their safety after April 10th. That's led to speculation that the North is getting ready for another nuclear test.
Any future nuclear test or missile launch would be in direct violation of UN Security Council resolutions and would lead to further pressure and isolation.
Recently, North Korea's most important allies, China and Russia, have joined in some of the criticism.
We welcome efforts by Beijing and Moscow to encourage Pyongyang to refrain from provocative rhetoric and threats.
Countries in the region are taking North Korea's threat seriously. Japan is readying its missile defense system. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Washington.
And keeping our eye on the economy, the U.S. economy added just 88,000 jobs in March, the slowest hiring pace in 9 months. Unemployment fell slightly to 7.6%, but the U.S. Labor Department says that's largely due to Americans dropping out of the workforce. This is a New York Stock Exchange with Scotiabank Stock Market Watch. The Dow, Nasdaq, S&P all up. The Dow 48, Nasdaq 18, S&P 9. Coming up on News 2, Adisha Penn is our new Carnival Queen, crowned on Saturday in front of a packed audience. We'll have the winning highlights from the show coming up next in our Carnival Corner. It is time for our Carnival Corner, and 5 young ladies took the stage Saturday evening to vie for the title of St. Thomas's 61st Carnival Queen. Who took home the crown? Hint, she's a former Miss Lockhart and Miss CAHS. News 2's Erica Bivens brings us highlights from Saturday's show.
Despite 2 power interruptions early in the competition, the Lionel Roberts Stadium was filled as the crowd was entertained during the 61st Carnival Queen show.
I was very excited and I'm very glad. It was a very tough competition and all the contestants did well.
Those were the reactions from this year's Carnival Queen, contestant number 4, Adisha Penn, who also captured titles for Miss Intellect, Miss Congeniality, and Best Talent.
I've had many sleepless nights, and there was a lot of hard work, a lot of time and effort put in from everybody, from my family and my friends. I had to make various sacrifices in some of the extracurricular activities that I'm involved in, but it was all worth it, and I had a very fun and exciting time throughout the competition.
The 5 contestants this year also included Marlika Williams from Charlotte O'Malley, Ayanna Phillips, also from Charlotte O'Malley, Pia Nicholson from Saints Peter and Paul, and Tiandra Garnett from Eudora Ken.
And now it is time to get down to business.
Tiandra Garnett took first runner-up along with Miss Photogenic and tied with Ayanna Phillips for Best Promotional Campaign. Phillips also wowed the crowd in a blue number, taking home the title of Best Evening Wear. The second runner-up was Marlika Williams, who was voted most cooperative and bestowed the title of Best Cultural and Historical Costume.
And can be seen during our carnival and festival.
The show ran about 5 hours, and although it was a competition with one winner, Penn says they're all still queens.
Marlika, Ayanna, Pia, Tiandra, you all did well. It was a very tough competition, and I want you all to know that we're all royalty, we're all still queens.
Penn will also receive a $5,000 scholarship from Cardo Jewelers, and as part of tradition, she'll be making appearances in several upcoming carnival activities. For News 2, I'm Erica Bivens.
And judged prior to the Queen Show were the segments of presentation, promotional campaign, and personal interview, which were included in the overall scores of the contestants. Good job there to all the contestants. Well, the fun continues. On Friday, April 12, it's Brassorama. On Saturday, it's the Calypso Review, some outstanding Calypsonians from home and abroad. On Sunday, it's all about the young ones with the Toddlers Derby at 5 p.m. Then the Best Dressed as a Doll and Traditional Games at 7 p.m. Monday, it's carnival time at the Schneider Regional Medical Center, taking the festivities to those who can't make it out. Patients get a sneak peek of the parade. And just a reminder, the Fort Christian parking lot will be closed from the evening of Tuesday, April 9th for the preparation of the opening of Carnival Village. All cars that are left in the parking lot after that date will be towed at the owner's expense. Every year, Public Works shuts down the lot to make room for the Carnival Village, which includes a variety of vendor booths and popular children's rides. The Fort Christian parking lot will be closed again from the evening of Tuesday, April 9th. Stick around, your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.
Because we wake up to walk up, we wake up to walk up, we wake up to walk up.